introduce to you the man of the hour, Tony.
Hello, 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 and welcome back to At the Gates. I am Tony, your host, and with me today are potentially a couple people. I don't know yet. I beat them to the punch. It is just past 4 o'clock, and I am at Target Field. So, I am expecting Jared and David both to join me at some point. They are both on their way. Told me that they're probably about 15 minutes away. I am looking forward to this game because it is my first game back at Target Field since being at Great American Ballpark in lovely Cincinnati, Ohio. I say that with all sincerity. It was a beautiful town, beautiful park, and really nice people. Excited today because, like I said, returned home. It'll be nice to see these Twins, see if they are going to make this playoff push or not. I saw a little tidbit that said that no team that has lost 100 games has ever made the playoffs the next year, and Twins are looking at doing that. It's a little bit misleading because this is only, the second year of the 2 wild card team format. So they'd be grabbing that second wild card, which in most years they wouldn't be making the playoffs with that spot, but it's still impressive nonetheless. Already, I would say this year is a astounding win for them. They're looking above 500. Even if they finished at 81-81, I think that would be much higher than anyone expected them to place. I also have a bit of a streak on the line. I don't think that it will remain after tonight, but if I do somehow get double digits in baseballs, it will be my first ever time getting 3 games in a row of double digits, and that is also including spring training. So this is history in the making. I've had a total of, I believe, 11 double-digit games in my career during the regular season, and 8 of them have happened this year. So to say that I am performing on a high level would be pretty much accurate. At 226 in 29 games, so that falls at about 7.79 balls per game. I'm looking to try to push that up to 8, but I just really want to stay north of my best year ever, which was, I believe, 2014 or maybe, of 7.2 balls per game. And again, that year does include spring training. This year would not. So no matter what, I would say that this year in the regular season I have beaten all expectations, set new highs for everything, and considering that I'm going to be retiring at 1,000 balls, I have no way of replicating that. This is my year. I made my big push, and kind of just leaving it all in 2017 and leaving myself a little bit of breathing room and ability to have a fun 2018 and wind down in 2019. Not going to go to nearly as many games, which, I don't know, we'll see. I'll probably, for the most part, I'm looking forward to that, but there's going to be those times when I just wish that I was at the ballpark trying to chase around a ball. But I would say that this year, since I've already been to 29 games, and that's definitely a new high for me, I'm starting to feel it. Not that I want the season over fully, but I wish that it was a little bit longer and more spread out. Can't really complain, though, because I still like doing it. It's still fun. I've done amazing things so far. And more importantly, I've met some really good people. I was really glad to finally meet Cole in person. Got to talk to him online a few times, both through his show and my show, but this was the first time actually meeting him in person. What I have on tap is something that's pretty exciting. I've had this idea of interviewing ball hawks for a while, and I finally, since I've been doing a little bit more video, I really want to make this into a full-form documentary, and it will be highlighting ball hawks as I go along my journey, asking them. I think I have 20 sets of questions. Each question set has 1 to 4 questions that are kind of grouped together, And I'm looking forward to kind of painting a picture about ball hawking in general and what it is, what it isn't, where it's going, who are the typical people, what are their stories, and then try to put together also a history of it. I have an idea in my head what it will look like, but on the off chance that things just fall apart and don't go according to plan, I can always scrap it. But I would say right now 75 to 80% chance that this thing gets made. And if you want to be a part of it, and you know that we are going to be able to meet in person sometime this year, next year, or early 2019, give me a shout out. Excuse me. Give me a shout out on, anywhere. You can leave a review and contact me there through iTunes, or find me at the Gates Podcast on Instagram, or the symbol at the Gates Podcast on Twitter. So just let me know. I'm going to be using Dave Forstad as a guinea pig hopefully tonight, and if I don't get through all of it tonight, then there's always Thursday night, since I think we're both going to be there for those games. And like I said, if it goes well, I can maybe start to share snippets along the way, but what I really want to do is turn it into as long of a documentary as possible. I mean, up to a certain point. I don't want it to be 10 hours long. In a perfect world, it would be basically a full-length feature film, 90 minutes of interview. But who knows? Maybe there's not that much information to talk about, and maybe it's not all as interesting as what I thought. Maybe it condenses down to 20 minutes and is just a longer form YouTube video. Who knows? Either way, I think it will be very exciting. I'm looking forward to telling some sort of a story and even learning along the way. I think this will pair nicely with my eventual retirement. I'm kind of looking back at the hobby itself, and yeah, I think I'll leave it there. If you have any questions, or if you, like I said, want to be interviewed, let me know. And until then, I think I will stop it here and maybe pick up more later on.
Hey Jared, how are you?
I'm joined at the gates again with some people. Starting with
Jared,
Dave, James. Hi, I'm Nate Doppler.
And I'm Tony. We pretty much went from tallest to shortest, somewhat, yeah. When was the last time I saw you, Mr. Dave?
That would be in Cincinnati. In fact, we owned Cincinnati that day.
How many balls did you get?
I got less than half of what you got, and I got 7, and I was quite happy with that.
7 is a damn good total. So, yeah, neither of us had been there, and somehow we ended up with 22 baseballs. And
That's a good one.
James, have you ever been to Cincinnati?
I have not been to Cincinnati, but I'm hoping to get there one day.
How about, just even the city in general?
I have not been to the city, no.
Have you been to Ohio?
I have not. I've been to Kentucky. That's about as close as I've gotten.
Kentucky is very, very close, because if you hit a ball far enough, you could probably hit it into Kentucky, at least into the river, and then it would flow over to Kentucky. Jared, have you been to Cincinnati?
I went before you did.
I would say maybe, 2 weeks before?
It was like 3, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that. And overall, where did it fall compared to Target Field in your rankings of these stadiums? You're on the spot because there's 2 other people that have been, so we're going to be able to say that you're wrong. Because we all know that this is objective and not subjective at all.
And you guys take it from a ball hawk perspective, and I don't. So
somewhat, I would say that mine are non-ball hawk influenced, but it's hard for me to 100% say.
After our discussion, yes, you have some non-ball hawk stuff in there, but I would say that I rank Target Field higher than you do, and I rank Great American Ballpark about the same, but you rank Great American Ballpark a lot different. So Great American Ballpark falls in about the same neighborhood as Target Field. Now, I haven't done the official ranking for myself yet, but that's about where it falls.
And when you say close, do you think that there's an edge to it, and what would be the edges that it has compared to Target Field?
I think Target Field has an edge, but I think because I haven't done the official breakdown yet, I think Target Field has the edge right now just because it's homerism, and that's about it.
Any edges that you can think of for Cincinnati?
Yeah, the Hall of Fame. We talked about how I love the fact that Target Field has memorabilia throughout the ballpark that public can see sometimes, and sometimes you can't see unless you have the right ticket. But having the Hall of Fame museum, having a permanent museum that you can go to without needing a special ticket other than a tour ticket or whatever, gives it an edge, yeah.
And you don't even need a game ticket. You can do it not in season. You can do it not on game day. You can do it before game day. It was really nice.
That street with all that new street with all the restaurants, and then
the riverfront area.
Yeah, the new riverfront area gave it a slight edge too, but that's because it's pretty brand new, right?
Yep.
And Target Field's been developing a lot of really great stuff around, but they don't have that kind of real great street community connected to the ballpark. So
Target Field, as much as I want it to be like Great American Ballpark in that aspect, just doesn't, like you said, it doesn't have the space. It was crunched in and jam-packed to begin with, so we just don't have that kind of space. I think that there is one thing, and I think that we covered it in the last episode, that I love about Great American Ballpark, and it has to do with that riverfront that isn't covered here, but maybe you'll get to it, Dave. What did you have for slight edges, and how about where does it place compared to Target Field?
It's an interesting thing. I would put Cincinnati almost like the blue collar version of Target Field. I think it doesn't have the bells and whistles. This is more, Target Field kind of serves the corporate people a little bit better and pushes them away from the general crowd, which I like with all the bells and whistles out here. But Cincinnati, I thought, was more intimate. I like what he said, where it's a little more bustling with the downtown. I'm kind of surprised with around Target Field that it's taken so long for them to develop that. I think they'd have that done by now, and they haven't, and they're working on it. But I liked it. I put Target Field a little bit above Cincinnati, but from a ball hawk perspective, which is going to influence me greatly, I put Cincinnati way above Target Field.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier. It's a lot more intimate. You're closer to the field, closer to the outfield. The right field wall is nice and short to the crowd. Where out here, left field is decent, I guess, but you're not going to see too many one-hoppers in the crowd out here, whereas you'd see a bunch out there.
Agreed, and a good day here at Target Field is probably 5. I would say a lot of people would be happy going home with 5. I mean, what we did at Great American Ballpark on our first time there, that far surpasses 5, so I can only imagine what we could do.
Yep, I think with the crowds that were there when we were there, double digits could be expected at that stadium for sure. And back to what you're talking about with the water part, I agree. It's neat how Cincinnati's got the river right on behind the outfield. And you're right, Minnesota, the land of 10,000 lakes, there's nothing incorporated with water. I mean, you think, like I said, center field, put a little tank out there, fill it full of Northern Pike or something, just to give a touch to it. I mean, the Wild, they're doing that now where you bring water and put it into the Zamboni and they put it on the ice and say it's from the different parks.
Yep.
They don't have that here at all, and I think they should. Definitely think they should.
Agreed. I'm glad that the water was brought up, because I've been saying that for a few years now, and unfortunately I don't work for Target Field or the Minnesota Twins or anything to do with that, so I can't implement what I want to implement. Any future plans for what the next ballpark will be on your list?
Boy, nothing now. Probably next year with you and Alex maybe, and whoever else goes down to Kansas City, but I don't have any. I might end up at Chicago next year too, but we'll have to see what happens.
Not living there, correct?
No, that would be too expensive.
Okay,
going
good.
to visit Wrigley would be fun. I enjoy that park a lot, although they've did a little corporate to that now, where the outfield, you don't see the balls land on the street like they used to, but It's still a fun place to be.
James, will you be joining us in Kansas City next year?
I think
It's looking like maybe July 20th through 22nd, so mark your calendar if you have a calendar.
I'm pretty open at this point, so let's see. It's more of rounding up the funds together, and we'll make her happen.
Okay. Maybe we can rent a big bus. Jared, would you like to join us in July?
maybe. That sounds fun.
How about, do you have any plans? I think we might have some plans. Yours might be the same as mine.
Yeah, we just talked about putting in pen and ink today about going down to Dodger Stadium, Angel Stadium, San Diego, and then Phoenix for Arizona.
Yay! Oh, and also, what's your full name? You said that you're going to be known as something on this podcast. What's your full name?
Because every time you reference me on the podcast, I get called Jared, that guy that went with me to Atlanta. So I'm going to end up being Atlanta Jared from probably here on out in your mind, I think.
Maybe we can change that to Los Angeles, Atlanta. Yeah, we're not even going to use Jared as your name anymore. So maybe it'll be Los Angeles or Southwest Jared. So any predictions for today, how you're going to do, James?
What?
Any predictions?
How am I going to do tonight?
Yeah.
I would take 3 or 4. I'd be happy with that. I just want to get 1.
3 or 4 balls.
Yep. And if I got a pair of batting gloves with you here, that'd be pretty spectacular, but we'll see.
Okay. How about you?
I intend to catch a game home run on the fly, probably in the 6th inning.
Just one?
Yeah, just one, I think. I think it'll be one close, but that's the only one I catch. And then after the game, Mauer's going to hand you a bat, which you're promptly going to run over and hand to me. So
that's true. We talked about this. You need a Mauer bat and also a Paul Molitor bat, which
is going to be.
Would you take maybe a Fungo bat if he used it?
No, I need a gamer, and that's not going to happen.
Oh, bummer. What if he comes out of retirement again and then uses
a chance. We got to hope he gets a few late September at bats for the Twins just to drive in a run. I'd be okay with that.
He could be our September call-up.
Yes, he could. He'd probably do better than most.
Jared, how are you going to do tonight?
I'm hoping for one good video of you biffing it on your sandals after chasing after a baseball.
All right. Like during the game or like just during BP?
Either or. I'm hoping for a gamer though, so we'll see what happens.
Do you want me to get hit by like the ball as well, or will it just suffice to only have sandals?
I'm hoping for a flagpole face plant tonight. That's what I'm going for.
Wow, ruthless tonight.
That hasn't happened yet. To be honest, I'm surprised.
I almost did that with that Eddie Rosario grand slam, but.
The guy with I thought that was James getting that ball, by the way.
Really?
I did. I saw the guy was bigger than James, but at first I thought it was him, and then I saw it was right in front of you, and it just barely got his fingers on it. Ugh, those are the ones that just make you cringe.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was watching it live, and I saw.
Especially for it being a grand slam too, because you don't come across those every day.
Remember that now. As a ball hawk, the ball's suspended in the air. You never wait for the ball. You
It's
go
true.
up and get
I
that
jump.
ball. You get a rebound.
But I'm so white. Look at me.
No,
do you think I have any hops?
Rodman. You're Dennis Rodman. You box out, you get your hand up, and you pull that down.
You throw
All right.
It would be hilarious to see people start boxing out on baseball.
I think we know a certain someone that might do that, especially to children. But we'll leave it at that. So join us again later. Maybe we'll do a recap. Maybe we won't. There's another really creepy dude here. Maybe he'll want to say hello. Maybe not. I'm trying to unlock my phone. But here, why don't you give your name to the folks here, and give a real name.
John Doe. Nate Doppler.
I don't think you are, because otherwise you would have said more by now. Who are you?
Nate Doppler.
Who is he?
His name's Michael.
Michael.
Nope. Michael Jordan.
Oh my gosh, Michael Jordan's on the podcast.
Not the Michael Jordan, Michael B.
Just a Michael Jordan?
No, Michael B. Jordan, the actor.
Oh, not Michael Jordan,
no,
the
Michael B. Jordan,
former
the actor. No,
pitcher?
Not the former pitcher. Not
Okay.
that Jordan.
So,
Those are the only two I know of, so we're good.
bummer. Well, that wraps it up for right now. We'll talk to people later, and expect big things. Like I said, maybe a certain video will be starting to be filmed here pretty soon, and a nice documentary. So get in touch with that. Jared's asking me if I'm doing it tonight. No, we're running out of time, so we're gonna start it here soon. Yep. So talk to you later. Love you, bye. Post-game wrap-up. I am driving home right now, and somehow ended up with 10 tonight. So that means 3 double-digit games in a row, which is a new personal best for me. Pretty amazing. Came close to couple home runs. It was unfortunate that they didn't go a little bit further or take some nicer bounces, but that's the way it goes. I didn't have a direct play on any of the balls, so I didn't feel too terribly bad. It's not like I made bad plays. It's just that I didn't get lucky. So, again, not a bad night. Had to hustle for 10. Still felt good to put that up. That means I am now at 851, which means that there are only 149 balls left until that big retirement day. Hopefully I can land right on 1,000, but if I either haven't visited all 30 and have already hit the 1,000, then I'll go slightly over. Or if on the game I go into it at 999 and end up snagging 5 or 6 that game, then so be it. I'll go slightly over. But the goal is still there, still attainable, still well within sights, and it's going to be easy, and not necessarily easy, but easier than this year to get there. I won't have to put up huge numbers. I can start relaxing at the end of this year after I put up my mega year and look forward to the things to come. Have a great night. I will. I was going to go to the game on Wednesday, but I think I'm going to skip it and then just wait for Thursday. Signing off, Tony.